Yes, this is the verb prefix video in the prefix verb series. So in this video, we're going to take a bunch of prefixes and we're going to make a lot of words out of them. But before we do that, I want to bring up the Lego analogy. So I want you to imagine that we have a big box of Legos and we can pour the Legos all over the floor, just like we have our little pieces all over the table. Now, when we have our box of Legos, we can pick up pieces, we can build things out of it, and we can make basically whatever we want. And then when we're done, we can take it apart. We can take apart what we built and we can build it into new things. And the Russian language is a lot the same. We can take our word parts and we can pick words apart to identify what they mean. We can build new words, and it just gives us so much control over the Russian language. Also, it explains why words in the Russian are so long. If there's ever a really long word like достопримечательности, then it's really just the result of many Lego pieces being put together. Alright, so let's get started. So here we have our main root. This is how most words or verbs work in the Russian language. So we're going to have a root, and we're going to have things that we add to the root, prefixes or suffixes that modify what it means. So, kaz, you know this word from kazat, to show or to seem. So right now it is imperfective. We have the imperfective verb to show or to seem, and that's kazat. What we can do to make it perfective is we can add the perfective prefix. So now we have pakazat. So pakazat is just perfective for to show or to seem. Now if we want to keep it in the pakazat form, but also make it imperfective, then what we do is we take out this right here and we substitute it in with an infix. So the infix here is iva. So now we have because, well, I should say this first. So infixes don't like to have stress on them, and so because of that, it will throw the stress back. The stress goes back when you add an infix. And so it went from pakazat to pakazovat. So pakazovat is the imperfective form, preserved with the prefix. Alright, so anytime we're going to add a prefix, we can always just add the infix back in to get that prefix verb's imperfective form. So our pair here is pakazovat, pakazat. Let's take this back out. Alright, so that's enough teaching of principles. Now we're just going to make a ton of words. So, pakazat. Okay, here we go. So, pakazat. We're going to take off this, and we're going to add nakazat. The pair of this is nakazovat, nakazat. It means to punish. If we take this off and put the stress here, nakaz, that means a punishment. Alright. Nakazat. Now we're going to do dakazat. So da can mean like all the way doing of an action, or an action to a complete end. So dakazat is going to be to show, that's kaz, to show all the way, or to prove something. So another thing that we can do is we can take off the t here and make it dakazat. So now it's something that proves, a prover. And we can add the stva suffix right here, dakazat stva, and we've put all of our Lego pieces together, and now we have something that proves, or evidence in the English language. So we can take these back off. And remember, the pair for this is dakazovat, dakazat. We just add our infix in whenever we want the imperfective. All right, so take do out. Now, prikazat. So pri, when we add pri, the way it changes the word, it makes it mean to order someone. So like a general gives a command, he orders his army. So prikazovat, prikazat. If we do this, then what's left over? Prikaz means an order or a command, like in a military sense. Let's see. Let me take that one off. Alright, ukazat. Now, u can mean like away, and so showing away, showing maybe another direction. Now we have to indicate or to point. And so ukazovat, ukazat means to indicate or to point. I'll take this one off. Atkazat. Atkazovat, atkazat means to say no to someone. Ut can have a declining meaning, as in turning things down. So on atkazal menye, he said no to me. Now if we add the sya suffix, we can, and the ut preposition right here, it means to turn something down or to decline something. So if you're at someone's house and they give you some food, you could say, ya не откажусь, like I won't turn that one down. Я не откажусь от этого. So let's take these back. Alright, the next one we have here is zakazat. This is another form of to order, but in a different sense. Not in like a giving a command sense, but in like an ordering food or maybe a taxi kind of sense. So zakazat, zakazat means to order, and za can just make an action more intense. And so in that case, it turns this verb into to order. Alright, now we're going to do one that we have seen before, definitely. It's skazat. Skazat means to say. Now, remember, the pair is gabarit skazat. So it's not skazavat skazat, it's gabarit skazat. Some verbs in the Russian language are just like that, where the imperfective and the perfective don't really have any relation to each other. They're not part of the same technical verb family. But this verb is super rare, so you don't have to worry about that. So this verb is going to let us teach another principle of prefixation, which is the idea that we can actually add multiple prefixes to a verb. We're not just limited to one. So skazat means to say. Pud skazat. Pud can be like a small, like kind of like a push or an addition to an action in a little way, or it can mean like a pushing upward from underneath. And so подсказать means to prompt. So if you're on the street, you can say "Вы не подскажете, где метро находится?" It's like, will you please prompt me as to where the metro is located? Let's take pud out of there. All right, рассказать. So where's our, all right, so рассказать doesn't exist because we're going to talk about this in the next video about voiced and unvoiced consonants, but because this is an unvoiced consonant, we have to turn this into an unvoiced consonant too. You don't have to know what that means. I'll explain it in the next video. So рассказывать is to like tell, as in to tell a story. So рассказ is actually a story. So we'll take this out. All right, pred. So pred in English, pred in English means pre, right? So before. So предсказать is going to be to predict or to tell something in advance. So to predict. Это нельзя предсказать. It's just impossible to predict. We'll take that one out and we'll do высказать. So with the vui prefix, there's something you need to know about. The vui, when it's in the perfective form, has this thing where it just loves to steal the accent. And so anytime vui shows up in a perfective verb, the vui will always have the accent on it. So it's going to be высказывать, высказать. So высказать can be like to have one say. Like vui can mean out, I guess, and just get out what you want to say. So if you want to have your say, it's высказать. And there's another form, высказаться. And I forgot exactly what that means, so I'm not going to lie and say that I know. But высказать. The last one right here is пересказать. So пере in English is like like doing something again. So пересказать is just going to be to retell, to say again. And that verb is actually a lot more common in Russian, I would say, than in English. But that is the idea of prefixation. There are so many verbs that we can create out of, and not just verbs, other words too, like nouns and adjectives. But there's so many words we can create by taking just one root and adding prefixes and suffixes onto it, like, you know, playing with our Lego blocks. And so that's the idea behind prefixation and suffixation, where we can basically just take the Russian language and make it into the Lego box that it should be, and build so many words, and it'll just really help you understand what words mean. Imagine if you were just reading a word, or you were just reading along and you saw the word пересказать and you had no idea what it meant, but you know, пере means re, and сказать means to say, so it's like just to re-say. So like having this idea of knowing what maybe the root means and then knowing what the prefixes do it'll really add to your comprehension a lot. And then also it'll let you start to build your own words and start to let you really boost your active vocabulary too. So be motivated, be pumped, because that's what the rest of the prefixation series is going to be all about, is how we add prefixes, what the prefixes mean, and all the great things that we can do with them. And that is the video.